Father. Oh, sorry. IT crowd for any of you fans out there. Got my father shirt and my Cubs hat. Uh, Welcome everybody. This is Diary of a Sing, and we're here to talk about the Survivor Olympics. We got Tony over here. He's representing the USA. Of course, Suri and Parvati as well. The Black Widow Brigade is back, baby. Um, so I think that Australian Survivor, I'm loving it. I hope you all are loving it. And I'm just loving the season. But one thing that I really, really like about this is I think Lisa brought it up how we're entering into a Survivor multiverse. It's something format wise that I guess it's not exactly the same as Cook Islands, but it's kind of similar format wise. Substitute racial divisions on tribes with country divisions, I guess. Uh, are they onto something? And that's what I want to discuss here today. First of all, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please comment on these posts. That helps the algorithm. And to be honest, I did not even think that that's how I'd be talking. Just brief history. I had like 55 subscribers before I started posting these Australian Survivor, Australia versus the World videos. And I was getting pretty good feedback in the commentary and all that when I started posting them. So I had 55 subscribers about 2-3 days ago, and this page has completely been for like my public speeches and advocacy things that I do. You can go ahead and check out some of the other stuff if you want or not. It's up to you. But I specifically posted these videos because I was looking, as an American, I was looking for a way to watch Survivor, and I was having a really hard time watching the Australian version. It's like, how can we not root on our American stars that we've been watching for how many seasons? I mean, Suri has played, what, 5 seasons? Tony 3. What is this? Parv's like 4th, 5th? Let's see. It's got to be Heroes vs. Villains was her 3rd season, and then she played Winners at War. Yeah, this is her 5th season. So, and then I had seen David and Parvati on Deal or No Deal Island together. But what if we didn't have one tribe of international, hodgepodge of international stars, tilted the American way, of course, but and then one whole tribe of Australian stars. And I know it's the Australian brand. They can do whatever they want. And to be fair, they brought us here. They are taking these risks, and they're inviting international stars. So it's their brand. They can do what they want. But what if we had 4 tribes of 5 or 5 tribes of 5, which you can do in Australian Survivor when they have like 40 days plus seasons. But yeah, what if we were to have an entirely new conception of what Survivor could be? Call it the Survivor Olympics. And that's what I want to touch on here today. And one of the things that I appreciate about the community that we're building, who knows what this could be, but potentially what I want to do is expose people to new international Survivor seasons. So what I would like to do is set up a group where we can actually start watching some of these wonderful seasons. I've only seen a couple of Australian Survivor seasons, so some of them are going to be new to me as well. So if there's any interest in that, I think that would be pretty cool. And then we can have a little bit of a community where we can actually discuss the shows in private chat groups and stuff like that. And we can, I can provide the access for the episodes, and then we can go forward from there. But what do you guys think about the idea of a tribe that is just dedicated to each country? A season with 5 tribes instead of 3. And we get to actually get to know the people within the context of their own culture. And this is something that I've, not that Survivor isn't meant to be a social experiment, but there is a sort of aspect um, of being culturally different in some of these seasons that does lend yourself to some disadvantage. And I'm talking specifically about a player like Tommy, for example, on the World Tribe. He's from Finland, and while in a Western context, we wouldn't view him as a minority, right? Because in the Western context, it's all about your what race you are, right? So he is a white guy, but in the context of a season where, um, I mean, I know Cass is from French Canada, but at the end of the day, English, like, there is some language barrier being from Quebec, but there's not really much. I mean, you're multilingual even if you're French Canadian. So culturally speaking, she has more interaction with, uh, I think they call them Anglophones, and so I guess that's what we are. And everybody else, like South Africa, New Zealand, they're all like relatively English, culturally English speaking countries. And so Tommy, I've been thinking about this. He's at a disadvantage. But what if he was on a season where there was 5 players, an entire tribe from Finland? Does that actually produce a better result, and does that give us a better idea of which franchise is producing the best players? I would argue, yeah, it would, because one thing that we have seen also in some of these casting choices, which are just completely arbitrary, is that we started seeing far more far more minority winners. For example, on the U.S. version of Survivor, when the cast was 50% people of color and 50% white people. And, some people might bellyache about that decision when they did it, but the reality is that America, if you're doing a cross section of America, having casts that are 80-90% white, that's not a cross section of America either. So, like, America's more like around 55 to 60% white, and like 40 to 45% non-white. So 50-50 is actually closer to the 90-10 that was previous. And now they've had a few seasons where they've actually had South Asian castmates like myself as well. And I don't think it necessarily has to matter, but I think if we're being honest, it does matter in some situations. It enriches a season, and it doesn't make it so top heavy. Uh, I do find it very interesting with how beefy the Australian tribe is. It hasn't actually translated into results in the challenges, and so that's kind of nice, especially since the world team literally voted out Rob, their beefiest person, first. Um, so I wonder who else could we add into the mix, and maybe part of that is I need to do a little bit more research into what the other international seasons are like. You know, and right now, who knows how that season would change things? Would Tony go back to his old bag of tricks and go crazy in the jungle if he had more Americans around and he did not necessarily feel like he was at a disadvantage within the American group as well, because Parv and Suri are not going to go against each other. Like, why would they go against each other? At least not yet. Although Parv probably should not take Suri to the final 2 if you're in position to do so. And I have a feeling this is going to be a final 2. Just a gut feeling based on what I've seen from past Australian Survivor seasons as well. So it's very, I think that would be very interesting, and I would want to do this far more often. I think at least once a year. Yeah, you know what? Once a year. I think once a year having international Survivor seasons, or maybe twice, maybe a returnee season of International Survivor Olympics, perhaps, and maybe all newbie casts as well. I think that that would be very interesting. It would um, showcase a few things that, number one, there are cultural differences, but number two, they're not so significant that you can't navigate them. It would enrich the season in many different ways. And number three, I know this is kind of entitled, but it's true. Any season is probably international season is going to be English because that's the lingua franca of the world. So we're us English speakers are at an advantage on those seasons, quite a bit. That's something that I wanted to consider. And if anybody in this group that have subscribed, if you guys are interested in the potential for us to start a private group where we start watching past Survivor seasons from South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and various other parts of the world, and maybe watch one season at a time so that we can all discuss. Please let me know. Please like and comment here. I want to continue keeping this channel going as much as I can. And I think I'm going to make an adjustment to the videos where I don't know if you guys noticed, there's like goofy music. I honestly, I just inserted that to be slightly funny, but mostly because copyright infringement. I do not want to have these videos taken down. I want to make sure that this community is able to watch these videos while they air, and that we're able to actually discuss them and all of that. And please make sure that if there's any spoiler in the comments, and I know for some people you're gonna say, okay, it doesn't matter, this, that, whatever. I get it. Like, why are you coming to the comments? It's not my job to police. But honestly, all it takes is just write spoiler, hit enter 4 or 5 times, and then write what you want to do. Write what you want to write. And it's you can write about who goes home, this, that, whatever. I know some people are going to be annoyed by that, but I'm not going to like completely police it, but I'd hope that you would be able to consider the fact that some people are going to unwittingly read a comment before they watch the video. And it just it's not a lot for you to just hit spoiler and then hit enter 5 times so that it doesn't show up immediately. Then somebody can click see more if they decide that they want to actually read it. Because I do think it's important that this group is active. In fact, the more you guys comment, the more you guys like, the more this video gets out to other Survivor fans. That's how the algorithm works. So essentially, they're going to place this video into suggested content for people who watch similar things to you. And that's how people are finding my page. So ultimately, we want to enrich the conversation. That's what I want to do. There's not too many places that have this much conversation about it. So I would like to keep that community going, and hopefully we can talk a little bit more about this stuff. And yeah, International Survivor Olympics, I'm here for it. Father!